morning, good afternoon, and good evening whenever and wherever you welcome back to the Beta Plans. We are playing Hearts of Iron IV, or perhaps this is welcome to the Beta Plan. Perhaps this is the first time you land up on this channel, because, well, you've seen the interesting title of a modded Hearts of Iron IV and the Byzantine Empire. However, I have to start from the very get-go, because this is the first series on this channel that, well, is about Hearts of Iron IV. And I know that I am a little bit late to the game of Hearts of Iron IV, because when the first episode of the series comes up, the game would have been out for about a month or so, but I personally never had played a Hearts of Iron. None in the series, not 1, not 2, not 3, not, well, also not 4 of course, but... So I got the game already at the very start, but first I had to familiarize myself with the game to, well, not totally suck ass at it. And, of course, I did the typical beta plan thing, which, well, you may be familiar with me, or which I will now tell you a little bit about. I always try to do something different, so as I ran, I, for instance, tried to recreate the Persian Empire, without the mod that I found later, by the way, and which is installed for this iteration. Because, well, by the title of the series you already know that we are going to play as Byzantium. And, well, I want some pressure from the east as well, because I make it myself a wee bit more difficult than I perhaps should do, and is perhaps sane. But this is one I managed as I ran. I am neutral, no problems whatsoever, as you can see. Ideology is not aligned, I am not in a faction, and we are still the same ruler as is in the beginning of the game. I also tried to play, for instance, as Italy and create the, well, faction that Italy can make, the Imperium... I'm now in the Novum Imperium Romanum, that is it. And I created that empire, which is important because we are going to play without historical AI focuses, and that means that Italy might go for, well, this type of deal instead of with siding with Germany. I also tried, actually, funnily enough, to play as Argentina, also without the mod present. And, well, I ran into a little bit of a snag. I think I may actually now load the lower one. Yeah, this is the birth of my faction. Can't really see that, but yeah, I went with Communist Argentina and ran into the snag with, well, some of the mechanics surrounding America. And it's political pressure upon South America. Don't you worry, I've sent in some bug reports, but yeah, there it is, Argentina. But I thought I have gathered now enough experience to do this, and thus we are going to play a new game. And we are going to play at the very start of the Gathering Storm, the first of the 2 star dates that we can start in. The 1st of January 1936 instead of the 14th of August in 1939, of course, when Hitler attacked Poland. Yeah, it is, we want some time. Well, here are some of the first mods that are installed. Historical figures of important nations, ones with unique national focus trees, which I will come back to in a short moment, have their historical portraits of the people. Also, the flags have been reworked in the mod to give them the original correct historical flags, which means that this is the flag of Germany in this time. Not the one that you start out with, well, shipped with the game. Italy, and also for instance the Dutch flags have been altered and been bit. Now, of course, because I have installed Byzantium, that gets a little bit reworked because, well, Byzantium doesn't exist in our timeline. But in this case, well, there are 2 mods out there. I should still put one step back. There are 2 mods out there for Byzantium. And I have chosen for, well, the mod that doesn't start them out as the Great Byzantium. But Romanian have returned the Roman rule to Constantinople. Can they overcome the challenges of the modern world? Well, we will definitely try. We will select this country, we will play on regular mode, we will not play with historical AI focuses, so that we actually can get a little bit more trouble. And I will not play as Iron Man mode, because I am playing with mods, and I have had some bugs and things that I think the game does need a wee bit more of a stability check at times. But we are going to play as Byzantium. So what is the idea behind this mod? Well, there was a war between Greece and Turkey in between 1921 and 1922. And in this case, Greece did not go towards Ankara, but they went down the Aegean Sea and conquered all of this and made an even more decisive victory against Turkey, claiming back the old capital, Constantinople, which is our capital, claiming Izmir and renaming it back to, well, actually, Izmir still is Izmir, but yeah, they have Ionia, they have Bursa, and they have Bithynia, which I do think Bithynia is more Roman name than a Turkish name, so I do think that is renamed. Personally, I would love it if Greece, and I do mean the nation, could start out historically and through their focus tree, this is the national focus tree of Greece, which, well, actually of Byzantium, because it has been adjusted from the normal one, that you could thereby form Byzantium again. But currently, for the mod makers, it is impossible for them to make the country tag switch like that. And thus, we'll have to play it this way. As said, the other mod, well, it restores Byzantium its more original status and gives them all of Turkey, which is a wee bit crazy for my liking. I like this idea behind it. It is just an alternative history, but not too crazy. I've actually seen, for instance, mods that allow Austria to restore themselves to Austria-Hungary. But to do that, they give them already Hungary and Slovakia at the beginning of the game. Or even more dramatically, give them the southern ends of Poland and Romania, Yugoslavia, really restore the... restore the entire old Austro-Hungarian Empire. That's a little bit too much. I do like a challenge, which is also, for instance, why Iran has a mod here, which gives them a unique tree, which allows them to, well, gain faster an extra research slot, like really crazy fast, and well, allows them to rebuild Persia a little more, which is really awesome, and gives us, as said, a little bit of pressure from the east. Now, because we do not have historical AI focuses, there's a good chance that the Soviet Union will come for us. Why? Well, they actually have in their national focus tree the Expand the Red Fleet, and when they go down this line, claim the straits, they get a claim on Constantinople, Bithynia, Bursa, and Ionia. We now all own them. They're not anymore from Turkey, they're from us, and then they can send an ultimatum to Greece normally. So yeah, we could get totally screwed. On the other hand, there is Italy. Italy, well, is now not guaranteed to join the Axis, and as I showed you in one of my save games, it can go Italy first and then create the Novus Imperium Romanum, the new Roman, the new Empire of the Romans. That is what literally that says actually in Latin, which I actually did have schooling in. And then, well, they, for instance, as you can see, Bulgaria joins. But we kind of want Bulgaria because that's also part of the Byzantine Empire, and it is actually in our focus tree. We could either befriend Bulgaria or we can reclaim Thracia and gain claims on Burgas, Plovdiv, and Sofia. Well, let that be exactly the states that compose Bulgaria. Now, this is a much better start than normally in Greece, because in Greece normally your border ends here. And you do not get all the lovely resources of chromium here that normally go to Turkey. But is Turkey then completely weak? No, actually not, because they still have over 100 chromium. They have their large deposit of steel and of oil. And these are strategic resources that you need in order to create the equipment of war. Now, down the line of our national focus tree is also, for instance, the reclamation of, where is it? That's Illyria, hold on, Macedonia, which gives us claims on Macedonia, Moravia, and Montenegro, which are all part of Yugoslavia. We do kind of want them because Montenegro over here, for instance, and that's actually the major part of it, if we go to resources, has 112 aluminum. We don't have that. We have a 58 aluminum, not bad, but not a lot. And we have a wee bit of steel. Actually, thanks to now Istanbul, we actually have... Sorry, Constantinople, what did I say there? Thanks to Constantinople, we actually have more steel, like double what normally Greece has. The chromium is nice that we have it, but it's not like really important at the very beginning of the game. And if you start as Greece, you can conquer enough to get that. because, well, there's also, for instance, the lovely superior chromium resource here in Macedonia. Another source that's really awesome is this oil resource, 70 oil, one of the largest oil resources, certainly within Europe the largest oil resource. Crazy good, even better than the Iranian and Iraqi oil fields. We really want that as well. Now, Italy can be a threat, Russia can be a threat, Iran can now be a threat, and, well, Cyprus was once of the Byzantine Empire as well, and if we are going to go nasty, we could say that we want that, we could claim it, reclaim Cyprus, and it's mutually exclusive with befriend England, because they own Cyprus right now, and, well, Cyprus claim gained by Byzantium gets event reclaiming Cyprus, or otherwise we will befriend the United Kingdom. Right, because this is a national focus tree that is specific for Byzantium. In the beginning of the game we saw a few people with portraits and important players in this time period. And they all have their unique focus trees. Like, for instance, France has a unique focus tree. But if you're a generic country, and I hate to say it that way, but it is true, like for instance Saudi Arabia, you have the generic tree, which normally is also for Greece and for instance for Iran. But these trees, they are shared among all, well, countries that are generic. Another, and for instance also all South American countries, for instance, is not just nearby here, no, it's also all the South American stuff and what have you not. With the exception of Argentina, because for Argentina I actually have also downloaded a mod, so that they can focus on, well, becoming the powerhouse in South America. What I tried to do, but what kind of was blocked by the Americans. Actually, their focus tree hasn't changed. I don't think I downloaded that. That's weird, I thought I had that. But, never you mind then. Scrap that remark. It's too far away for us to care anyways. We are going to focus on Byzantium and recreating our empire, and it's going to be a doozy. We need to get away from non-aligned stuff. We need to either align ourselves with the fascists, which means Germany, Italy, Japan, and what have you not. Possibly Bulgaria, because they can tend to switch, as well as Romania can tend to switch. That's a really weird portrait. For all the black and white portraits, how the heck is this a portrait? Because this is not the regular portrait for Calinescu. That's weird. This is the normal portrait here, Prince Paul, but alright, well. We will just have to see. We want to recreate Byzantium, and we are going to get either troubles with Italy, perhaps even with Germany, because Germany has a way to claim Slovenia. Don't know exactly where that is in the thing. Perhaps the fate of Slovakia? I think it might be somewhere around this line, where they claim Slovenia, which is the top state of Yugoslavia over here. Now its own country, of course. And, well, we need to figure out which way we are going to lean. Are we going to do we fear Russia? Do we want to go communist? Or do we want to go fascist? And I already say from the very good start, we are going to go fascist. Why? Well, actually, the fascist theory kind of fits with the idea of Byzantium. Don't kill me, but fascist is an extreme type of nationalist form, and it focuses on the army and the recreation of and focusing on the historical roots. Byzantium is the historical roots of Greece, and it is, well, actually in the modern Greece, sometimes you still see Romanum type names, and I actually think that, for instance, one of the princes once was called Alexander, or something like that. At least not very Greek, but more Roman focused. So, we are gonna go that route, and we're probably gonna go fascist, because it also gives us a lot of manpower. Greece normally starts with only the cores that are of Greece. Thrace. No, I can go down all the way here, but Central Macedonia, Thessaly, Epirus, Crete, Peloponnese, and the Aegean Islands. Now that we have these as Byzantium, we also get them as cores, and thus we get full manpower from them. That's kind of needed, because manpower is, well, the span of the game is so short that you can't, well, actually, logically, say that if I would conquer Ankara, that these people go in 2 years like, oh yeah, actually we're part of the Byzantine Empire. No. They're going to be pissy about it. There's going to be possibly revolts, and the Turks are just not going to, well, bend the knee or just bend over and get arse raped or what have you not. So they won't become part of us, and thus we will not get their full manpower. We will get access to their factories and what have you not, and their resources, but not their manpower. If you want that, you should puppet a nation. If you puppet it, they become more or less your slave, and they will give you a ton of their manpower. That could really be a good way to go. Now, I probably want to just take all of Turkey because that is proper. I want to take all of Bulgaria, probably take a lot of Yugoslavia, but perhaps puppet the rest or so. And there's actually a very nice interesting thing surrounding Albania. This is Zogu, King Zog, House of Zogu. And Italy normally has a way to, well, occupy Albania. And there is no, it is not, mutually exclusive. If they join the Axis, they can go for Italy first, and thus focus on the Balkans. It is not mutually exclusive, so they can definitely get Albanian occupation. But Albania, of course, is also part of Byzantine Empire, and properly, the one who made this mod, I really like this tree, I really do. We also can claim Albania, but that is a wee bit difficult because reclaiming Albania lies a bit down the road. For us, we need to go down this route, and then we can reclaim Illyria, the old name of the province in the empire. And then Albania gets an ultimatum of us, but they are guaranteed by Italy. So we might go to war with Italy. Now if they go into the fascists, and we will join the fascists, and we are all in the Axis, they won't wage war with us. But it is interesting to note, and currently we are not allied. Normally I would say, if you start a game, please be smart and focus on mechanics, go down construction, and get your extra research slots. Because a focus tree just says where your nation wants to focus and what it wants to do. But because we want to see if we can get Albania, and because we want to change away from being non-aligned to fascist, we are going to focus actually on politics. That is our national focus for now, and in 70 days we get 120 political power. What does political power do? Political power allows you to reform your government. For instance, the laws. Laws and government. Currently we are export focused and half of our resources just go out of the country. But it gives us more factory output, more construction speed and less research time. We also have civilian economy, which is about the worst economy you can have when it comes to warfare. Because, well, the consumers just want their goods, which is really logical. And thus, well, civilian factories, the construction of them is also slower. You lose a lot of factories to simply consumer goods. Actually, we lose 6 of them. Actually, that's kind of funny. It says that we lose, 6, even though we have 11. Well, that's kind of bad. We kind of want a wee bit more factories. So that's the first thing I am going to build. I'm going to build up our civilian factory numbers to adequate amounts, and don't you worry that I'm building it in here is not going to be a disadvantage. Later on we will get more spots to build things in provinces, and thus we will have enough room to build naval dockyards, military factories, or what have you not. So don't you worry that we're now building it quite full, and we have it actually, because then it would get blue stripe, but if we would, it is all fine. Let us set ourselves our technological focus, and I think that whatever country you want to do, you want to go into industry. You want to produce faster, which is machine tools. You want to build faster those factories in order to, well, get more output, and you want to research faster. These are the 3 technologies you want to pick first hand. No, there's no discussion in my opinion. So, but we have some free factories, so let's make use of them. And I know that Greece actually has light tanks from the very get-go. And we'll get to these numbers in a moment. And, well, we do want to take that. And I noticed that we need some weapons, so we'll put an extra factory in that. And now we have 6 or 7 factories active. Is there anything else that we need to build? I do notice that we need a few artillery more. We could start with some bombers. Actually, this looks like an Axis plane. which is something else in a mod that I haven't showed you because, well, another mod that I have installed is to have the equipment more historically correct, and thus some of these images might be different from what you have. For instance, the Germans get their proper tanks and the way the tank looks, so yeah, that is quite an awesome little feature. And normally Greece actually doesn't even start with George II, a popular figurehead, which gives us national unity, 15%, and with Basilia Romanium, justify war goal time is lowered and we can create factions. Greece normally doesn't start with that, but of course we have restored the royal family, and thus we get these things. I like them a lot. National unity, by the way, is, well, more or less, well, as the states represent the willingness of the people at the top to prosecute a war to the finish. The higher this value is, the longer they will fight on before considering surrender. So that is pretty awesome. But yeah, we need to get some politics, we need to get some factories going. Sorry I got there a little bit distracted, and I wanted to make one naval yacht for submarines because I do tend to like those. We can't do anything about this, we have low manpower. Yeah, well, that's too bad. We just waged a war against Turkey, we were rather weak, or just about 14 years ago. And, well, we have insufficient resources. That is important. We lack oil. How do you get a resource that you don't have? Well, you trade for it. More or less you should think it like this. If you have a civilian factory, it produces goods, like for instance consumer goods. It could also produce goods for trade. More or less what you do is you trade in one factory its goods, you can see it like that, and therefore lose a factory's processing power, manufacturing power for that resource. And that is 8 strategic resource units for one factory. So we're not going to trade to the United States, we're going to trade to Romania because we want to have it close by. I'm not going to trade to Iran because Iran might be opposing us, and well, Romania as well a wee bit, but we are going to conquer that, don't you worry. So that is all the factories and the resources and what have you not done. Let's consider our armies and our navies. So the border with Slovenia over here, what's the best map mode to show that? I don't remember. Where's the terrain map mode? I don't think that there is. Alright, well then we will focus it on just like this. This is rural area. Rural. That's clear weather, that's nice, but I kind of mean like, yeah, this is forest for instance, but this is mountain, there we go. So we kind of want some troops that are, well, equipped for that. Mountain divisions. So, what we do is, we are going to create an army. Alright, with a mountain division, and we're going to say, you are going to defend the border with Yugoslavia. Now, currently there's only one division, that is of course absolutely inadequate. But we have quite a few divisions, and quite a few divisions more I think than normally Greece starts with. But of course we are larger, and our war was more decisively won. Oh? Did I create 2 armies? I'm sorry. I guess I created 2 armies for a moment there. Now we added the division proper. Alright, I don't know what happened there. So I'm gonna put my mountain divisions over there. I don't know if the border with Turkey. Here, let me look at it. I think it has some mountain areas. Yeah, so we should not... Well, we also have mountain troops over here. Actually, what type of troops do we have? We have the mountains, we have the infantry, we have the cavalry, and we have the tank units. Alright. Well, we'll get to their organization and how they work and what have you not a little later. This is pretty good mountaineer unit, by the way. Holy heck, that's also a really good infantry unit at the start of the game. With artillery already at the start? Sweet. Very nice. And horse units are normally very excellent in suppressing revolts. Along with military police is very good at it. Mountain, yes, everything is very, very mountainous and hilly around here. Let us create our armies a wee bit. And put them into divisions. You are a new army, and I will create you as a new theater even. And we will talk about all this in a wee moment. Give me a second to organize all of this for you, so that I can then explain a little bit more clearly what it's all about. We actually have a tank unit. That is awesome. And then we are going to form the Turkish front, which might have too few troops at this very moment. But we'll look at that in a moment. Actually, this unit can definitely join the Turkish border and not the border of Bulgaria. So, the Byzantine Empire theater, no, not the Byzantine theater. And we have a lot of theaters, but this is the Byzantine... Sorry, that's not how you spell Yugoslavia. I know how to pronounce it in my country, but that is not going to be... Yeah, for English and for purposes of this Let's Play, let's keep it all the same. Yugoslavia like this. Yugoslavia. Theater. Actually, I probably should just get rid of Byzantine because, well, we all know that these troops who come from the Byzantine, we own the Byzantine. So, Yugoslavia theater, there we go. Now, all of this type of renaming I will do off camera, and we will come back when I have reorganized. I will explain a bit to you about how the armies work and how we will go about trying to reclaim our birthright, the birthright of Byzantium. If you like this idea and if you like this episode and think you want to follow it, then please, by all means, hit that subscribe button or hit that like button and let me know that you actually like this modded Hearts of Iron IV Let's Play. And whether you do or whether you don't, I still say to you, if you reach this point, I must thank you for watching. And remember, great peril yields great beauty.